Tomorrow, Nebraska prepares to take on their first true road test of the season. The very talented, emerging 4-1 Maryland Terrapins. So in today's video, it's finally time to reveal my official prediction for this ball game. We're going to take it quarter by quarter, play by play, who breaks out for the Huskers, who struggles and falls short of expectations, a couple positional groups I have my eyes out for, offensive and defensive MVP, statistic leaders, a couple surprises along the way, and then when it's all said and done, who wins, the Huskers or the Terrapins, and where does Nebraska go from here? So really quick, this is going to be a shocking prediction video. Make sure to watch the entire thing. Hit that like button if you're fired up. And also, if you're a diehard Nebraska fan and you're not subscribed, what are you waiting for? For daily content talking Huskers, it's a no-brainer. It takes 2 seconds. Join this family. Hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much. But without further ado, we have a lot to talk about. Nebraska has a huge challenge on their hands tomorrow against the Maryland Terrapins. One of the more talented teams in the Big Ten. They're coming into this game 4-1. They have one of the best true freshman quarterbacks in America who not only can kill you with his arm, but he can kill you with his legs. They have a coach who's working on proving himself to taking that jump with Maryland to go to potentially 7 or 8 wins this year. They have one of the best defensive lines in America. They have one of the best offensive lines in America as well. They can force turnovers at a rate that is one of the highest in the country. And overall, they're waiting for their breakout moment. And it all should be noted that Nebraska, this will be their first true road test this season. This is our first real road game. Yes, we played Cincinnati in a neutral site environment, but let's be real, that was 90% Nebraska fans. It's a little bit different when you go over to the East Coast on a completely different side of the country. You're a little bit jet lagged. You might not be completely dialed and completely prepared in a different environment. And Maryland's ready to pounce. So it's going to be a tough game. Nebraska, we have to play with our A game from the very get-go in order to get this victory, in order to avoid the upset. So let's get things started with my 5 predictions for this ball game. Then we'll get to, of course, my score prediction, offensive and defensive MVPs, and where we go from here. But first prediction for Nebraska. They heard all the speculation, all the chatter this week. A lot of Husker fans were not okay with only beating Michigan State by 11 points, especially with how we struggled in the second and third quarter. And for that reason, Nebraska starts off hot, particularly in the first quarter. They don't believe that Maryland could stop their passing attack. Dylan Raiola gets going early, finds Isaiah Hunter on a receiving touchdown. The ground game gets established. Emmett Johnson has a field day, at least early on in the ball game. And also, we force a couple 3-and-outs on defense. So Nebraska, we get going early. We start off 7-0, 10-0, 14-0. But here's the issue, and here's the caveat. Whether or not Nebraska will actually continue that over all 4 quarters. Yes, we will start off hot. I completely have confidence they will do that. But as you saw versus Michigan State, they started off hot versus the Spartans, and then they hit a wall in the second and third quarter. And it got very ugly. The Spartans started fighting back. So while I believe Nebraska will start off hot tomorrow, can they be consistent throughout all 4 phases of the ball game? Okay, from first to the fourth. We will see. But Nebraska starts off hot against Maryland. Second prediction for this ball game. Malik Washington's legs give us a real problem. Now, I want to make this very clear. Malik Washington isn't a complete dual threat. He's not a Brandon Sorsby. He's not an Aiden Childs. He's not somebody who's going to run for 100 yards on the ground. That's a misconception. But what he is somebody who can extend plays with his legs, where, let's say the pocket breaks down, the edge rushers get to him in a split second. He could step up in the pocket, evade to the left, evade to the right, and then make something happen with his arm. That's what the best quarterbacks do. The best quarterbacks don't necessarily, again, run for 5 or 10. They evade, extend the play, and then find something with their arm for a gain of 30, 40. Okay, he's a gamer. He can make those big plays. He's not afraid of the big moment. He's a true freshman to the point where, again, maybe he has a little bit too much confidence. He's maybe a little bit too cocky. So he'll make that big throw, even if it is risky, even if it's in harm's way, and he's so talented that he can get away with it sometimes. So, again, if there's anybody who's going to keep this game competitive for Maryland, it is Malik Washington. I think when it's all said and done, he's going to be one of the best quarterbacks Nebraska plays all year long. Okay? He is that good. He's better than Sorsby. He's definitely better than Aiden Childs. And honestly, Bryce Underwood didn't do much against us. So I could very well see him be the best quarterback we play up to this very day. So again, he's going to escape the pocket. He's going to extend plays. He's going to convert some big-time third or fourth downs. He's going to keep it competitive. Nebraska, we got to shut him down as the game progresses. But if there's any reason why Maryland's in it, it's because of Malik Washington. Third prediction for this ball game. And this is really the big issue. Maryland's pass rush gives us significant issues. They have one of the best defensive lines in the country. They average over 4 sacks a game. They have talented edge rushers who can get to the quarterback in a split second. They have dominant D tackles who can plug lanes. They have a defensive coordinator who's very blitz happy. Like, he will be aggressive. Not only do they get sacks, but they force turnovers at a very high rate. So for that reason, knowing what we know about Maryland, knowing what we know about Nebraska and our offensive line ineptitude, we can draw a conclusion that Dylan Raiola, he's going to be running for his life tomorrow, right? He's going to throw some balls in harm's way. He might take a couple sacks that he probably shouldn't. My thing from Dylan is that when the pocket inevitably breaks down, you got to sometimes just throw the ball away. Okay, because sometimes he tries to be a hero. He tries to make something happen. He forces an interception, or again, he just takes a sack when it's unneeded. But if there's any opportunity for Dylan to again emerge and prove himself, just throw the ball away. It's not necessarily making the big throw. It's just about being the smart quarterback tomorrow. Okay, but I absolutely expect Maryland's pass rush to give us issues. I mean, talking about this offensive line in general, I just don't think it's going to go from that bad to Michigan State. I mean, they were awful against the Spartans. They're not going to progress from being that horrendous to dominant in a span of 7 days. It's not going to happen. So our offensive line could improve, but again, it's a tough challenge. This is the second best defensive line we're going to play this year, up until now at least, right? We play Michigan, and now we play Maryland. So again, very tough defensive line for that reason. We're going to have to switch the game plan up a little bit. We're going to have to run the football a little bit more because they're going to really get to Raiola, and that's going to be an issue. Fourth prediction for this ball game: Nebraska's defense comes up when it matters the most. Now, Maryland has a lot of talent. Again, they have a great quarterback. They have great wide receivers. They have a great offensive line that only gives up about half a sack a game. But the issue with Maryland is they're not efficient at all. On third downs, they're one of the worst in America when it comes to conversion rate. Same deal on fourth down. Same deal in the red zone. They only have a red zone scoring rate of 70%, which is almost dead last in the Big Ten. Their play calls aren't very good. So for that reason, John Butler, he's going to have a great game plan. We're going to get pressure when needed. The pass rush looked great versus Michigan State. It's going to look great once again versus Maryland. They're really going to prove themselves. And overall, the tackling's improved. We see a couple young players break out. Whether it's Donnie Jones, or Rex Guthrie, a Gay Moore, a Cade Petchock, overall this defense. If there's any reason why Nebraska wins, I'm not predicting a win just yet, it's going to be because of this defense, not because of the offense. In fifth and final prediction for this ball game, before we get to my official score prediction, this is something everybody's going to want to hear. Nebraska keeps it clean. 0 turnovers. Dylan Raiola, he's going to throw some risky passes. That's just what Dylan does. He's going to throw some balls in harm's way. He's going to struggle under pressure. But overall, Maryland will not capitalize. He will not throw a single interception. And also at the exact same time, Emmett Johnson will not fumble. And we will have 0 turnovers on the day. And here's the caveat. Malik Washington comes back down to earth a little bit. He's a great quarterback, but he's waiting on his welcome to the Big Ten moment. He's waiting for a ball game where he throws a couple interceptions and struggles. And I think that's what's going to happen against Maryland. He throws 2 interceptions on the day. Andrew Marshall gets one and brings one back to the house for a pick 6. And overall, when he starts to break down, when he starts to struggle, that's when Nebraska starts to pounce. All right. It's the moment you all have been waiting for, my official score prediction for Nebraska versus Maryland. Listen, I could see it be a very close game. It's a road environment. Nebraska, we've struggled on the road. We started off slow on the road. Matt Rhule has historically struggled on the road within his first 2 years at Nebraska. When you play against this level of talent, a team that's really trying to break out, it could go down the very wire. So for that reason, it could be a close game. I'm predicting Nebraska to win 45-13. Yeah, I'm not actually predicting the close game. Nebraska gets their prove-it game, their statement game on the road versus Maryland. Now listen, again, they have a lot of talent. But the reason why I'm predicting the blowout is really for 2 reasons. Number one, I think Dylan Raiola in the passing attack is going to be too much for them. They're not a very efficient team. I don't believe they're very well coached. And also, here's the thing around Maryland. They always slide in October. They always slide in November. Okay, they always start off hot, and they just forget how to win. Nebraska, I believe the last time we played at Maryland was in 2019, right? Adrian Martinez, we put about 50 on their head. We're going to do the exact same thing this Saturday, tomorrow, against the Terrapins. So 45-13, but I want to make this very clear, even though I'm predicting this victory, and it's a big victory, we still have a long ways to go. There's still going to be things after the game that we need to talk about, that we need to continue to get better at. But again, this is what it should be, right? This is the expectation ahead tomorrow. I'm not going to be satisfied with the close victory if that's the case. You know, it's about not only beating teams, but there's a standard now. There's a standard of dominance. And when you play inferior squads, you got to take care of business. So 45-13 is my prediction. Offensive and defensive MVPs. I'm going to go with Emmett Johnson on the ground. I think he has a really good day once again. Do we find out who that running back 2 is going to be? No. But Emmett Johnson still plays well. And then defensive MVP, I'm going to go Deshaun Singleton because once again, man, he has been so good this year. Had 2 interceptions versus Michigan State. I think go off 1 versus Maryland. Him and Andrew Marshall get a pick. All right, guys. It's your time. Take 1 minute, 30 seconds, 5 seconds, whatever it takes. Comment down below your official score prediction for tomorrow. What do you think is going to happen? Absolutely want to hear what you say. Hey, if you made it this far in the video, you know what to do, hit that like button and subscribe. Reminder, we will be live directly after the game. So it will be around 6 o'clock when the game is over. Right when the clock hits 0, we will be live on this channel. So right after the game, go to WilsonDittman Sports because we will be live. All right, guys, let me know your thoughts down below. Hit that like button and subscribe. As always, folks, go rule. I'll see you in the next one.